you're starting off the year as hot as you were in Search and Destroy, a lot of teams are going to be watching your gameplay, try to mimic it or counter it, and that's what they really need to put a lot of focus on in this series for me, is going to be their S&Ds. On the opposite side for Optic Texas, I know they said the map pool looks good for them, but that is from Optic Stage 1. So far this stage, they won 2 hard points, they won 1 Search and Destroy, and they've won 0 controls. So I'm not hearing nothing about no map pool being good for these guys. They're going to have to show me before I say anything.
That's fair. I like it. A little polarity between you and I. I'm here for it. I guess there's just that little bit of woulda, coulda, shoulda. How do you go from being one of the best teams in the game to only getting maps from Vegas? It feels like maybe a matter of time type situation. We'll see if that comes through as Kenny. Nice opening double for him. Bean's able to put together some sort of a response though, and with that, it's just down to Dashy. Last one left over the top of P1. Trying to create some space, but Insight finds the final kill, and now it's a 4v3 for Toronto.
Yeah, and Dashy channeling his inner A-Boogie today with the hoodie, trying to come in on demon mode to power his team potentially through this series. But a mixy P1 between both squads so far. Toronto Ultra have not been able to flip these spawns on his head yet. But they're in a position now to soak up a lot of this time. You already have Beans contesting for the spawns. They have no idea that he's here. So a big gunfight went off the rotation, but he should still get overwhelmed because Optic's still spawning close.
Yeah, that moment right there from Beans kind of pushing through, that provided the first question mark for Optic in terms of decision making, because they were still spawning favorably, and Beans had taken a handful of shots backside P2, so Optic were aware that he was there. It comes at a bit of a cost, but Optic will still win rotation over to New. First 15 seconds or so going to go their way as the hit from Bull starts to develop.
Yeah, they've been able to save a lot so far in this rotation. Initial 2 kills go their way. Now they have all their bases covered. Shotzzy trying to contest from top catwalk. Elise finds one, sends in Pred for the trade, but they both get taken care of. Now Ultra can just pounce their way right through the front door as Kleenex just flies on in.
Oh, a little messy moment here from Optic, still spawning close, but not keeping eyes on the rotation over through Palms. Shotzzy creates an opportunity for the rest of the Texas members to come through and still fight for this scrap time. 25 seconds with the time though, and interesting enough, Pred's gonna hit a route through mid, so just kind of leaving Dashy by himself backside P2. Shotzzy trying to create a pinch onto the hard point, but it's all shut down, and Ultra look good for the scrap time.
Yeah, that's one thing that Optic definitely did put a lot of focus into their hardpoint game, is just layering, realizing that, okay, we're going to get outnumbered if I start to hit this rotation here. This is good junk time, but now that you banked so early on this rotation over towards New, you have to make it count. Thankfully, Shotzzy takes care of Beans. Now you sort of have somewhat of some arc control, but Ultra are more than happy to just play around this hill.
Beans caught backside over through B Street. Keeps the hard point open for now. 53 playing up against 20. Optic holding rotation, but looking for kills at mid-map. Here's Kleenex behind the play. A couple of tags into Pred. Pistol out will win that final gunfight. Now off the reload. Does he know that Kenny's still playing relatively close on this B control point? Seems to have now, as Kenny finds the slide through. Messy, though, here from Optic, as they're just not quite able to keep Toronto off the hard point until now, where Shotzzy develops something through mid-map.
Yeah, but now you need to get some time because you played so hard to get arc control. We're trying to keep him off P3 to make sure we have it for P4, but you're not really putting it into the score line so far. You're not also finding any kills off the rotation. So Optic Texas already making a couple mistakes. You know, on a map like Fall, it's all going to be about those rotations. They just rotate a little too early and don't get any time off of P3. Now they lose the rotation over towards P4. They need to break quick.
Yeah, and that little rotational moment over to P4, I think, is another part of the picture that, you know, we could talk about Lissidins, we could talk about just the team not gelling, the swap between Pred and Hook, but that's just 3 1v1s that no one from Optic wins. And those were 50-50 gunfights, too. It's not like Toronto had the beat on them. Those were square-up gunfights. Moment here, though, for Optic to at least block spawns around the back. Kleenex provides a double. Kenny, inside the hardpoint, only able to find one, and Dashy's been found backside of the hill as Toronto will establish control.
Just sloppy gameplay, man. It still is for Optic Texas. Try to put yourself in a position to block the back spawns, but Insight was contesting from top P4, made your life very, very difficult. But now, between the last 2 hills, I think they've only gotten about 10 seconds. You need this 20 seconds. Yeah. Keep into this game, even though Ultra do have the spawns ready to contest it. Joe to see starts off with 1. Joe flies in, finds a double. Dashy on the outskirts. Yeah, you're going to try to play for this kill, but Ultra just outclassing him. And pay attention also to the game clock as well, Alan, because there's been a lot of white time. We got 3 minutes left.
Yeah, I was about to say, this kind of feels like a reiteration of what we saw from Red Card against Miami yesterday, where Optic are in these 2v2 moments, and they're just not pushing the issue to get onto the hill. So only 38 seconds with the time to the first rotation. Toronto trying to find a crack in towards P1. Not fully going to work out, but Insight will allow an opportunity for a split to come through. And it's another 1v1 gunfight that Insight takes. Now numbers starting to amount here for Ultra.
Yeah, it's a big double there from Insight, because now your teammates have the numbers to bombard their way back in through the middle of the map. Go 3 for 1 on the trades. Insight still stay alive. Finds another kill onto Kenny. So now spawns do flip. Optic need to find a break. They also need to flip these spawns. But this is a big 25 seconds. Let's not worry about any routes. Let's play for this time.
Yeah, and Ultra locking things down to the middle of the map. Develops an opportunity now to safely rotate back. Insight good for 1. Wow, lots of damage to Dashy, who still forces the gunfight. Insight comes away now on 6 in a row. A critical double there. Optic will get blessed with a couple of spawners from the back, but nice shots from Insight. Now to the A.
Oh, man.
It's 18-9, 8 in a row for Insight as Ultra lock things up going to 2.
And the only rotation that Optic currently have won so far on this map and made it count was this P2 HP. Now you're spawning all the way across the map with Jodeci's creating an extra layer through top cat. And if Insight is having a stat line like this, yeah, you're most likely going to lose the series. 18-9 on an 8th Street. Cruise missile already earned. Optic trying to break their way through the front, but everyone just trying to go 1 by 1. Like, this is not how you play the game.
That's the thing, is just like, how many times did we praise Optic for their ability early on in this game to understand how to develop team-based hits? It's just, it's not there. Nice nade from Jodeci. 22 and 11, good help from Insight on the cross as well. Keeps him alive now off the regen. Looking to battle for this last 18 seconds. Easy stun follow-up elimination for Insight. And Optic are gonna take the long route back over towards P3.
They're going right back to the play they did on the first rotation of the hard points. All right, we're gonna take Art nice and early, but now we're down by 100. We need to play the time here at P3. Insight with a big 1-on-1, make it a big 1-on-2, make it a big 1-on-3. Insight having a phenomenal opening hard point here. And basically putting tears in the eyes of the Green Wall fans.
Yeah, it's not been good here. And I will say, you know, you could sit here and obviously there's been a bit of magnifying glass onto Optic, but Ultra are playing really damn well right now. So there's that to also consider, as they're up by over 100 points, and it's looking like it might get worse as Beans is just shredding them over towards the backside of Palms, and this just may be the game right here, Jay.
Oh yeah, Optic are just continuously trying to push their way through the front side. Now with 20 seconds remaining at P3, you're more than happy to walk away with a lot of this time if you're Ultra, because you know Optic Texas have to cut their losses. They have to try to make the bleeding stop over towards P4. Just right now, Ultra aren't making any mistakes to allow that to happen.
Indeed the case. Well, it's a massive lead and towards P4. That's looking solid as we head to a Toronto illicit it.
One down.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna put the mark. Jump to the Come on. I'm dead.
Oh, spawn now.
Yo, front, good, dead.
Nice, look at you, Predator.
Light corners.
Back up.
We're blocking the back.
It's Scaff on the right. Yo, it's already Scaff front. I back, okay? Run back. Name my Scaff.
Is there plants? Plants and more across right. Level weak on the right. Nice.
Default, I think.
Absolute on the scaff door. Front scaff. He's by the door.
Yeah,
Okay. One time and 2 plants.
Under like
One single, 1 plant.
Top look at that.
Nice shot.
Someone get time.
I have the cross, other right cross. One top look. Your front door.
By statue. He's weak. Absolute. You can challenge.
Plant's weak. Let's shoot. Time for door now.
Only one there. He's front door again.
Here you go.
Got team press. One more press.
Weak. One's pretty weak.
Blocking out, bro. Yo,
Level weak.
Challenge.
I got
Fucking awful, bro. Holy shit.
Push forward.
Let's go. Dubs.
I have cat right now. Alright, top cat. One shot top cat. Going cat. Cat's dead. It's
Take me off.
Crouchy.
He's front hook now.
Give me a sec, man. I spawned out here. Cat's behind me. Lobby. Lobby. Dead.
Line one shot. In dubs.
They're open. He's on the heading. I can't.
Okay, both weak. They're getting splits.
2 gold, both weak.
Gotcha.
I'm pitching.
Give me a sec.
Give me a second.
I'm with you. Line. Bro, give me a second.
Open. One shot. Wait for Toby.
Dead.
Open. Hit lobby. One bullet. Open. Good.
4.
Nice.
Out of time.
Push it up, Joe.
I'll get cat.
Yep.
Keep it cat. I'll tell you when I got it. Oh, he's
Name my cat.
They're already from P2.
the front ahead. One behind us.
Oil. That's fine. Lobby stun.
Well, Jay, it's just another in a long line of just absolute breakdowns coming through. Ultra just having their way at the moment.
It's actually insane. Like, this is the level of Optic Texas, a world championship team a couple months ago. Like, this is their level of play. Obviously, you bring in Pred a little bit late after 2 months of not playing the game with the lineup. But it's just like, fundamentals aren't there. We're not trading out efficiently. We're challenging one-on-one gunfight after one-on-one gunfight. This is not the way that you want to play in this game. Now you are sort of trying to make the scoreline a little bit better, but you allowed Ultra to slay the way that they have been. Insight out of Cruise. Joe deceives your turn. but Optic should be at least able to avoid the 100-point club.
Well, 2 fall after Joe Deceives Hellstorm comes out. Trent pushing a little bit further forward. Kleenex able to at least neutralize the hardpoint time plus a trade from Insight. Now, you've got a solid read on what's coming next. Able to get enough damage to allow Shotzi to fall by way of the Semtex. And Toronto are just no mercy right here. Just trying to force every gunfight they possibly can. But Optic are hanging on, and they'll get out of the 100-point club at least.
Yeah, that's been their best hold so far this entire game. You win the rotation over towards New. You're able to withstand all the different layers that Ultra are going to throw at you. Still down by 110. You need every gunfight to start to go your way. We need to play for this P3 time. You can see how Ultra, with the leads they had, they're playing so spread. They know that, okay, a couple kills go our way. We secure odd spawns. We should be in the driver's seat to close out this game. But even with Optic now winning those gunfights on the other side, Ultra have no problem just hopping the hill.
Yeah, Kleenex able to stay, or at least around the hard point for now. Insight helping him out, and there you go. Ultra right back into the hill. Kleenex trying to push a little bit further forward to win out this cut, but Shotzi gets a double. Trophy from Beans will be placed, but Shotzi finds 3. This will spark something here for Optic. Looking good through the first 30 seconds here in our third hard point. Plus, they still have a couple of members holding over towards Art to stop this rotation from Kleenex.
Okay, so Optic are starting to play some good Call of Duty now. All of a sudden, they have blinked and they have figured it out. A lot of time here at P3. Currently have the rotation over towards New. A couple players are trading around that mid-map, and Kleenex finding a double is going to allow Ultra to walk away with this final 10 seconds. Getting closer and closer to that 250-point mark. If Optic Texas do not die off rotation here.
Yeah. 100-point game. Joe Deceives able to clear out some space on the exit through 3. He will be seen on this crossover towards Art. A couple of stuns and spam shots coming his direction, but Joe Deceives has just he has gotten right through all of Optic. They haven't found him. Joe's able to find a freebie, slips away from another. That's going to be Dashy on the other side. Stun will land. Joe waiting for the regen. Dashy can't find him, and it's 45 and 25 for JD. Oh my goodness. Still alive in the back. Optic cleaning up kills, but Joe's now on kill number 46. Oh gosh, 100-point game, and here come Ultra now trying to follow up from the front.
Yeah, Joe's just waiting for the help. It's as simple as that. Joe's like, I got the spawns blocked, guy. Can you guys eventually get into the play? Eventually, you have to choose your right moment to strike.
Oh my God.
Lines up Kenny from the top side, finds on in, finds that kill onto Pred. You can still close out the game here. Optic all the way across the map. Ultra looking to close out map 1.
48 and 25 for Joe Deceives. Ends on a 6 spree, and there will be no incoms trash talk for the amount of eliminations he finds, because this time he gets it for the dub. And it's just, again, the start from Optic, it's in pieces, it's individuals, and Ultra coming out hot, absolutely punishing for it.
Yeah, it's literally right off the rip of the game. When you rotate, cut your losses from P2 to P3, you take art control, but you don't play for a lot of time there at P3, and then you die off the rotation for P4, and you instantly get chained on both of those hard points. Only walk away with 10 seconds out of 120 that you could potentially have taken. But just too much of a deficit to try to fight your way back into this game. Ultra were winning majority of rotations. That's all it comes down to. On a map like Vault, where they are dead last in rotation win percentage, they won every single one of them besides the ones at P2. So if you're going to do that versus a team obviously struggling the way that Optic Texas currently are, doesn't matter about how many kills they have, doesn't matter about the damage, just the way that they are playing the game, it is not going to work. And Ultra take full advantage of it in map 1.
Yeah, 48 and 25 for Joe Deceives, 36 non-traded, but keep your eye on Insight. 37 and 26, 16 assists, 32 non-traded, top damage in the lobby. So again, it's just the teamwork coming out for Toronto Ultra so clean. And I think the assist category right there actually tells maybe a bigger story that the kill category does. Just so many players over double-digit assists, if not way above that. And well, for Ultra, it's just one of those moments you look at and say, okay, like I have a hard time putting a finger on this team, because when they play like this, it doesn't matter who they play, it's just like everything's working so well. They look like a top 4 squad. It's just, how do they pull this off consistently? That's been the question for Toronto this year.
Yeah, they can always contest teams in hardpoint. It's just been their S&D right now, and we'll obviously get to see if they made adjustments on their protocol, which they do find themselves on, what, 3 to 4 losses in a row? They were flawless to start the season on it, 4-0. Where they go from categories of being the best team in post-plant scenarios, the second best team in retakes. All those categories has fallen off to around the middle of the pack. So I think if you're Ultra, teams just started to understand what you were doing. You have to be able to develop off of those strategies and make those mid-round adjustments to counter it. But just the confidence and everything that they were able to build off of this map, number one, you best believe Joe Deceives is looking for another 6-second ace in map 2.
Yeah, for real. Well, heat check round 1. You calling that already, Jay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not? Well, Toronto, comfortable in map number 1. And now we take the conversation over to the search and destroy a little bit more in full. And for Toronto, I think the big news here, like we said, they started off this year as the best search and destroy team in the game. It has not necessarily been that way, though, since really like just prior to the major 1 at least, I should say, as they have kind of, like you already mentioned, like they started off 8-2 in search and destroy through their first 10. It's starting to fall a little bit more since then, about 6 and 8 since that point. So you go back to a map to try to spark maybe some inspiration, because protocol was so good for them in the beginning of the year. Same can be said for Optic, though. They were 3-1 on the map leading into and through the minor, but the question will be, again, like just trying to find something for Optic to work with, because it's been bad this major, obviously, for joining us here late.
Yeah, their S&D so far this stage is horrible. They're like dead last in first bloods, 11th in conversion rate, 11th in retakes, 11th in post plant. Every single big stat in search and destroy, they just simply suck at right now. They don't understand how to play around each other, and we even see it in the hard points just in search and destroy. We even saw it yesterday in their vault S&D, where 4 stacking in towards the A side with 1 trophy. Obviously, it works out 1 round, but you can just tell like their strategies aren't really developed yet. I don't know if it's because Pred obviously comes into the team a little bit late, but we need to have default setups. We need to have stuff that where we're playing for picks. We're not going to go out there and try to play hero ball, because that's something I tweeted after this series yesterday. Someone's always trying to be the guy to make the play, and in this game, you simply can't have that.
No, absolutely not. But, well, this kind of makes matters worse, just kind of stacking it against this Optic squad. The search and destroy KDs have not been there either for some of our best players in the game. At least at one point in time for Shotzzy, Pred hasn't really had a chance to get himself going really at all this year in the search and destroy. So again, to make matters worse, I was gonna say the numbers are stacking up, but the smiles are still there. So yeah, vibing in some regard between Shotzzy and Pred. It's just hard to manifest, I think, any kind of momentum here for Optic, just due to the fact that, again, it's been bad everywhere.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. It's been real tough. But realistically, when I look at this lineup, there's not one person I would drop and find someone either from challenges or another team that is going to make this team better. So you might just have to stick this one out and just learn the game now 2 months behind. That's the only thing that Optic need to try to do. And in this search and destroy, they need to find success early on with their first plus. SMGs need to find openings.
Yeah, absolutely, they will. Optic will be on offense first. Ooh, aggressive push here. What?
Right.
It's an Ultra just pushing right through mid-guns, and somehow Joe Deceives able to take down Shotzzy, who I thought was just going to play for the info and back up, but isn't allowed to. Now you have an early 4v3.
You have no trophy systems to work with, so all the attacks are going to be heavily thrown if you are on the side of Ultra, but Dashy and Kenny at least making it 2v2. Joe finds a double Pred 1v2.
You wanted the 6-second ace here, Jay. I think his teammate steals it away at the end, but Joe still comes away with 3. Man, dude, it's just, how do you, I just don't understand how Shotzzy gets melted like that off of just what is a shoulder peek from top window.
Yeah, can't afford to die like that. Obviously, you want to start off the round, especially early into the S&D, of just like reading what they're going to get, what's going to be thrown at you. But Ultra just continuously making those confident plays based off of what they did in map number 1, take mid-map completely away from them right off the rip. So now if you are Optic, you're thinking potentially going forward, like those B pushes are going to be even more difficult, because that was their default setup, and they still broke us down.
See if Joe can, again, just kind of keep the tempo up. Thought about it. Backs away for a moment, and now he's going to re-wrap back over. He's surely been seen this time. Dashy, yeah, good shots. First blood going to be tallied. Kleenex, ooh, does he get forward here? Thinking about it, but instead falls over towards Boat, and he will not be allowed to get over towards the zip line. Kenny finding a follow-up, leading into a 4v2, and Beans almost able to even the odds.
Oh, big round right there out of Optic on the response for defense. That time is Dashy able to find that first blood through the middle of the map. Kleenex tries to make up for the overextension through the right, but Kenny in the perfect position. Pretty sure the lineup 3 on the round or 2. But the defensive stand, once they shut down that early pressure in towards the bottom A site, they were prepared for any rotations as they tie the game.
Okay. Decent bounce back there. I think the biggest thing about this, is simply down to the fact that you don't allow Ultra to get away with aggression 2 rounds in a row. So, let's see. Trophy System denying a deep nade from Optic on their offensive attempt to shots. You see the play through ladder. May not make a difference. Klinex has gotten one and gotten away. Another early first blood tallied in a very quick 4v3 again for Ultra, who own all of air at the moment.
Yep, they have all the map control. And now this is where you can start to take some space away. You can already see Klinex pushing up a little bit more aggressive towards the backside of Tower. Optic thinking about that rotation over towards B, but you spot Klinex not able to find the kill, and now Pred might be trapped. No, he's out.
At least for now, he's out. This is going to be one of those bold commitments to try to plant, but that is a distance that will be easy to follow up on. Dashy taking down Beans is the only real B defender, so now you got a 3v3 post plant. Shotzzy watching the pinch. You got Dashy sitting at the post plant in helicopter. This is a solid setup.
Shotzi's already changed his positioning up, though. You can already see Klinex taking his sweet time working around the pinch, trying to locate where Shotzi was, but Shotzi's already behind you, and Joe Deceives actually gets that kill. Insight takes down Dashy. Pred left in a 1v3.
Damn! Wow! I mean, we're talking Jackal over the top of the box, if not through a little bit of it. And Klinex just absolutely destroys Pred. And you can even see the player cam. I think he's kind of giggling about, like, I don't even know how I got that kill, but whatever it was perfect and clean. And Ultra break down the post plant, which again, it was set up pretty darn nicely.
Yeah, it was. Like, if you're in a situation, if you're Optic Texas in a 3v3, Shotzi just moves all the way from Grandma's in towards ammo. But he doesn't have to be that first line of contact because Dashy's watching over the bomb. Shotzi, your job realistically is to just wait until the action starts to go down. Then you work that pinch. But if you're the player that first drops, they know the positioning of the other 2 players. They easily just get picked off. Ultra, break them down on that defense. Now to go back on the attack.
Trophy System quickly down. Klinex first blood. That's over towards field side plus a follow-up, and it's just individual gunfight wins again. Wow.
Damn.
Yep, that's the only word that is needed, Jay. Just damn, period.
Klinex this time switches out from that Jackal to the Amos. Goes over towards Tower. Every single round so far on defense, Optic have tried to take away that A site. At that time, just the adjustment to whip out the AR, catch them both as they were approaching through the big door. Clean first bloods. Lead to the numbers advantage early for Ultra. That was basically like a 10-second round. Now they're up by 2.
Yeah, production gave us the call. 15 seconds exactly. You got to remember that it takes about 8 to 9 seconds just to get from spawn to a gunfight, so. Oh, wow. Trophy down for Optic. Trying to get aggressive this time with some tempo towards A, but it's just crossfire setups working out perfectly. A couple of follow-up stuns just to make sure that the rest of this Optic offense is held back just a touch. And in the meantime, Beans has gotten around the backside to make sure there's no rotation over towards B through Grandma's.
Yeah, you not tripping at all if you're Ultra. Every single exit from this A bomb is currently being watched. Now with that bomb being planted, you know you have the numbers advantage to retake. Gets a hit marker with the nade. You got some early info.
Yeah, Beans could try to follow up on this. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's fish in a barrel, literally right here. They know he's stuck. It's just too clean, too easy. And Joe's sitting here shaking his head like, are you joking? 8-1, 5 in a row. And Ultra are wiping the floor with Optic right now.
Yeah, I'd be laughing too if I'm Joe Deceives because some of these rounds Optic aren't even like having a strategy to it. They're just saying, all right, let's 4 drop down. Hopefully we come out on top in these gunfights. But they drop down and initially lose their first 2 players. Then at a man disadvantage, they know we can't exit this bomb for free. They most likely have every single angle covered, but Joe Deceives with the nade connecting knows that there's players over towards Spiral, freebie onto Kenny, and this guy doesn't even try to move. Yeah, Joe, just shake your head because I don't know what the hell Optic are doing either.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is astonishing. Joe Deceives from freebie. We're not, I mean, are we kidding me? I mean, we're just running in and finding free first bloods, and that's going to be a 4v3 post plant. Jay, I'm at a loss. I'm at an actual loss for words right now.
Hey, man, you know, sometimes things just don't work out the way that you want. And right now for Optic Texas, all throughout Major 2 qualifiers, nothing is going right. But at least so far this round is, as they make it a 1v2, is just the only player alive is Joe Deceives, and he's been a demon.
He's seen the rotation come from Shotzi, though. He knows he's going to be playing over towards Heli's side. It's just down to, does he get the timing to find Dashy? So far, he hasn't seen him, but yeah, eventually we'll find the long route to get there. So Okay, better stuff there for Optic after what was a very free first blood from Joe Deceives, but Optic collapsed, don't allow that post plant to get set up, and they find the remaining 4 kills pretty darn quickly.
Yeah, big shout out to Dashy there, who finds 3 on the round. He were Pred falling in the first 5 seconds. Able to retake over the site while Shotzi was causing some issues on the pinch. But he's able to line up 3 with the hoodie strapped. To take around there, to not let the bleeding continuously keep going. But Optic still have a long ladder to climb to even try to make this a game, because Ultra, every single round so far, they have just been outclassing them with either pressure or their confidence.
Well, this time Kenny looking for an opening check over towards the outside of sidewalk. That's enough space for Shotzi to run through. Now, Ultra, they may have some sort of a read on this, and yeah, they do. I was going to say, they're also calling in the Hellstorm at the same time, so that shuts down the aggression from Shotzi. Decent follow-up from Kenny, but cruise missile once again lands, hits like a freight train, and Dashy will drop. But Kenny has actually worked with some timing here to possibly play for a B plan. Instead, is going to try to look for a long route and see if him and Pred can get together later in this round.
Yeah, he's waiting to see if Ultra are going to wrap back, because obviously they're covering that A site. But they're more than willing to just let that bomb go down at B for free. The trigger discipline, you want to make sure you line up the kill, and then when you take the shot, you don't even get it. Kleenex is still alive.
I think Kleenex was seen on that little slide across. Pred's joined the party here, though, so Kenny's just got to commit for the plant, and he will. Post plant going to be set up in the Ultra spawn. We'll see how they deal with this one, 3v2.
This time, take your time. Kenny was the bomb planner. Still have no information on where Pred is playing. 10 seconds wiped off the game clock. You're relying on what Joe Deceives can give you. Working his deep pinch. No one's out. Then eventually they'll pounce.
Okay, cooked up frag. Pred not tagged by that, but now he's been seeing clean shots for Beans, and now you know that it's just down to Kenny. He's got a trophy system underneath, and yep, that's Omni movement for you. Just a slide through with an SMG. Ultra, good to put themselves on map point.
Yeah, it was a great chow there from Pred. You know, in a man disadvantage, we want to take a one-on-one gunfight. Don't know if he had an SMG or an AR in hand, but Beans just absolutely rips him off the backside of gun. You take a look at the replay of the crews getting invested. They find the first blood, but then Dashy sitting in the middle of lockers unfortunately does fall to that. You weren't expecting that if you were Dashy, but they try to make up for it once they get the bomb down. It's just way too many players from Ultra still alive. Game point now, Ultra.
And Joe's having himself a career series right now. I mean, he's on 10 in the Search and Destroy after 48 in the hard point. And it's going to be just a flat-out push in towards bottom A. Dashy, good first blood. Optic have gotten the counter on this as all 4 members have played in and around A. And yep, there we go. Another 15-second round. This time Optic able to take the win.
There we go. You saw that new thing that we've added to the production squad. Like, shout out to Mac, making it look pretty. You saw the opening duels pop up there. It was 6-1 in favor of Ultra. Now 6-2 with Optic securing this round. They were prepared for the aggression through the bottom side of A. Able to find every single kill without anyone falling. Now we just need to discuss some kind of offensive strategy, because you try to work your way in towards that A site, you're losing an initial gunfight. You try to go over towards B, you're getting picked off early on. Probably just want to slow this round down.
See what the call's going to be. Pred, Shotzi, looking to play through the elevator shaft. No initial nades from Ultra. They're the ones kind of taking a bit of a pause here as Dashy and Insight see each other at range. No real contact here, though, and down low, here's the follow-up. Ultra going to use their nades a bit late. They will clear out the elevator shaft. Kenny, oh, he could get isolated here at mid-map. Beans is playing off the sidewalk stairs. He's been seen. Nade over the top. Kleenex finds the kill, and Beans is just being annoying on the backside of the staircase.
That's all he's got to do. Pred and Dash are the last 2 players alive here for Optic. Need a 2v4 Miracle Clutch to try to bring this one back. At least Pred finds the first. More manageable now.
Yeah, the thing about this is, again, Beans is just staying so well tucked in thanks to the help from his teammates, and Joe Deceives is watching from bottom spiral. He catches Dashy, trying to rotate into A. Pred, decent damage, but he's been figured out over towards A, and now you've got Beans on the pinch to make sure there's no exit through elevator. Field's being watched by Insight. There's just nowhere to go. Wow. 2-0 up are Toronto. and it has been more than comfortable in a weekend that's largely been one-sided for one team or another. It looks like we may continue down that same pathway here as Toronto is just not missing a beat at the moment.
Oh, not at all, man. They did exactly what they did in map number 1 here in map number 2. Early tone setting with these rounds, with the aggression. Multiple successful wins in that first blood column. Pretty sure it's 7-2 to close out that search and destroy. With 4 first deaths out of Shotzzy. Fred didn't really have an impact on the map either. On a map like Protocol, where your SMGs are usually the guys that are finding a lot of the info, giving the info to the ARs to set them up for kills. They're dying in the first 5-10 seconds, so they're completely out of the round every single time. Optic Texas, again, just continuously just struggling. That's all you can say. They're just struggling right now.
250, 155, 6-3 gets us now onto the topic of conversation of vault control before maybe a Protocol hardpoint, and even more maybe a Skyline search and destroy. But Jay, it's just I don't know what it is. Like, what happened in Madrid? Because everything was clicking for this Optic squad. You get to Madrid, you lose to Miami, you lose to Carolina, and then since that point, your only wins have been versus LAG and Vegas, 2 of by far the worst teams in the league. No idea what's happening. Maybe the desk has words that maybe can try to solve this.
They got no clue either.
I think
I see it.
Probably Hook.
No,
Hook
exactly
helped win 6 in a row, right? But you guys were critical of Hook's play when he was on the lineup, Clint. So what did you see before we jump into our love for Toronto, because those boys were cooking?
Frying.
I mean, what do we see just now? The hard point made me want to put my head through a wall. And then it's just the simple stuff in searches drive me insane. Like Joe and I were talking about when we were casting a vault for them yesterday. Like, there are a couple chows where I would see like what someone like Kim was trying to do, and like you're trying to like wide swing and double chow, and like the double chow timing is just a tiny bit off.
Yeah.
And then it's a single chow, and then the trade doesn't happen. And that happened several times here as well. Like there were some other blunders with getting caught early, but like everything with their timing and decision making just doesn't seem in sync.
Well, there's some overarching problems that they're having in a lot of these game modes that we can point out, but also every map has a story. And part of the story on this one, as simple as it may sound, is they lost some key big gunfights.
People got cut.
I mean, early on, you got a bomb down B, you're hitting a long, wide pinch and Shotzzy. I mean, we didn't see it from his POV, but it looks like he got gunned out of his shoes by Joe DeCease.
Well, speaking of Joe DeCease is having a serious.
Yeah. I mean, the Toronto guys are absolutely shooting super well prepared, finding a ton of first bloods. When they needed to retake, it came in instantly, and big gunfights were won by Beans, Joe, and Insight.
I'm going to go ahead and call it out now. I think this is going to be the single best individual performance in a match. Joe DeCease throughout map 1 and 2 is putting up numbers. Statistically, the man is leading the league across the board.
Oh, yeah. He's got an opportunity for it based on the first 2 maps. No question. Double-digit search and destroy. What, nearly a 50 bomb in the map 1?
You're probably not going beyond map 3. I picked Optic, and I don't even believe that.
And they're very good at vault control, which we're about to head into for Toronto Ultra. But yeah, Optic not on the same page. I think to what Clint said, a lot of the times, like you're seeing people chow solo. The last round, I love their approach towards it. You had a map spread. You got Dashy putting shots down top windows. Kenny cheating up the middle of the map. Then Shot just dies by himself down low, right?
Yeah.
So issues lingering in Toronto, capitalizing on that heavily right now.
It feels like it shouldn't be like, are we picking Ultra or Optic? It's like, are Ultra or is it Optic going to win a map?
Yeah, I mean,
like that. It's gotten that bad.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to win a map? Screw winning a series. Like, you just need to win a map. With
take
those
a look
4
at the
players, you got those 4 goddamn players.
You can't win. Joe's doing this. Take a look at your scuff play of the game. That's our sponsor. This is our sponsor segment called the Scuff Play of the Game. This is Joe DeCease. So let's take a look, Maven, at him dropping a ridiculous 1.92. He leads the league now after that game.
These are the moments when Joe plays like this. This team is going to dominate, and this is what we like envision for them. If he can find consistency, how good they would potentially be. I will say, Optic made some very bad plays this map, letting them get through, and it allows the momentum to be built on the side of Toronto Ultra, right? When you're just preferred side of the map, when you have Swans, and when he's allowed to go out there and just make plays. It also probably helps that Insight was having an insane map.
Yes.
Like
the duo was cooking.
Yeah, and when the ARs are finding success, Joe's just going to to be free on the map.
Just how good was Joe playing? Take a look at the kills per 10 minutes. 29.8 leads the league. Hydra in the number 2 spot in the 28 range. That's ridiculous.
No, when he is on, bro, it is so fun to watch, dude. Just his smile and how much fun he's having, it was awesome to see.
Can we pull that graphic back up real quick if you have it?
Yeah, look at it again.
Please.
Shout out Easy Mac, by the way. I pulled this up in the middle of game 1. I was like, can we check in?
Scrap is insane. These are all subs.
Yeah.
He just got scrapped up there going crazy.
No.
But yeah, the fact Joe's right next to Hydra is nuts, man.
I'm not surprised to see that though. Scrap is insane. The way he plays the game, the pace he plays the game, the AR and SN, it's been like what we talked about since he came into the league. The guy's nuts.
Scrap is pretty good. So are the Toronto guys who are playing right now. Let's go back to you guys.
Sorry.
Well, he was on
Caught me
Toronto.
off guard. He was on Toronto.
There's an AR on that list.
Oh,
Get him off Sunday's getting mixy. Even Sunday's getting mixy. You know how it gets.
It always does. There's like we get these throws, Jay, and it's just three people yelling at us. Like I don't know how to handle that, but at the moment it is the Joe Deceives show. But hey, if you're someone who loves Call of Duty, well, if you're an Optic fan, you may want to tune in because there may be some pickups after this stage. Challengers going on right now. We have playoffs, the final stages of playoffs for Challengers Elite Season 2, both across Europe and North America. It'll be Wednesdays and Thursdays. And at the moment, I mean, we have had some drama here in Season 2 for all of the weirdest reasons. We had a number of tiebreaker situations coming out of the Swiss stage. This KC Pioneers team won the matchup that they needed to, still didn't make it in towards playoffs because of the tiebreaker situation. So you've got some favorites in Team War, and I think the Spartans right now, the Royal Spartans have been the top two, I think, in North America. And the Emit squads are looking to have a little bit of a bounce back after what they were unable to produce in their first day of playoffs. Jay, kind of who have been your standout players for this season of at least North American Elite?
There's been two players that I really want to focus a lot on, and they have been impressing the hell out of me throughout the entire Challengers Elite Stage 2. It's been Prolude on the side of the Spartans because that guy just has the fundamentals in his back of his mind. He's been playing outstanding ever since the Royal Spartans having a slow start to the Elite. They come back and now they're in the winners finals going up against Team War. And on the opposite side, I think Capsule's been a guy that I like to put a lot of focus on. On that Omen Brooklyn squad, he's basically like 30 per, double digits in every search and destroy. But they're obviously making names for themselves to try to make it back up to the big leagues. But still on our screens, Optic Texas First Ultra, you're obviously down 0-2. You're going into a vault control where obviously you haven't found a lot of success recently. They're actually 0-6 in control so far this stage. On the opposite side for Ultra, they're on a 4-game win streak on vault.
Yep. That dates back all the way into the final match of Major 1 qualifiers. They are 2-0 on this map so far in this stage, including their 3-2 win versus Optic at Minor 2, the other one coming versus Boston. But again, like for this Toronto team, it's been a really tough team to kind of assign a power ranking to, because certain days they look incredible, other days they look a little bit mismatched. They're just 9-9 overall in the season when it comes to control, so this definitely feels like another one of those modes that they just need to find some sort of consistency in, and this breakoff has been solid. Every single elimination going their way, and the A zone is pretty much already gone.
That was the worst breakoff I've ever seen. We're talking about Optic Texas trying to take through B Street. Shotzi went right through Vault to flank through Catwalk when his teammates are getting overwhelmed through the middle of the map. I'm starting to get pissed off, Alan, because these are some really good players, and they are making some of the worst plays I've ever seen. That's already 4 dead. A's gonna be done and dusted. Optic already down by 5 lives with no map control to go with.
Yep, and Insight is already playing deep over through Vaults in towards Art, so if they can find a clean exit, Ultra could quickly be over towards the B zone. Keep in mind your numbers are all over the place right now, so we're just going to go based on kill feed and POVs, because trying to call out numbers in the minimap is going to be impossible. Insight over the top of 1. Decent damage. Should be an easy follow-up here with an SMG in his back pocket. And yeah, Dashy drops. And now it's just down to, can you clear off Pred over through the backside of B Street? But no, he will find an exit, and will now work with Shotzi to try to play over towards the Ultra spawns.
Yeah, Shotzi and Pred need to keep on finding kills, because Insight was just trying to stay alive through top bar, but since they're finding all those kills in the spawn, eventually the players off the respawn can isolate onto Insight. So Optic Texas, even with a terrible break-off, they've been able to manage this round so far. Up by 2 lives. Already been 30 seconds wiped off the game clock. Ultra trying to work on some of these deep routes to find an opening.
Yeah, Beans has seen Shotzi, but well, as I say, not able to get prepared for the gunfight. Is finally Shotzi will drop, but Optic in good control over towards the Ultra spawn, continuing to force Toronto to spawn towards P2. Follow-up gunfights have been good as well, as Pred finds himself on 5 in a row. Finally overwhelmed as Beans takes down 2, but Dashy off the cross again just keeps this clock ticking.
Yeah, Optic just keep on taking space. They are not allowing Ultra to get out of their spawn for free. When you think you can take care of the 2 players pushed up, Dashy was already in a spot to fill that gap. So a minute now left to work with if you are Ultra. Joe Deceives needs to find something through the middle of the map. At least finds the first kill, but Pred effective on the trade. Trades are starting to go down. Ultra can now approach to the front.
Yeah, CleanX can jump on, stop the zone, and actually find Stashy backside of the cars. And now it's just down to what else can he manifest through the front side of the zone. Like he said, 2 are down. That's going to allow Ultra to start to push forward with their ARs. A couple attacks, keeping them off the cross for now. CleanX still playing over towards vault doors. Now Joe's on your pinch, able to find one, and he can continue just to make sure nobody for Optic can touch the zone. And Beans will just reduce this Optic defense completely individually. Oh, gosh. That's going to be the zone, and Ultra going to take a very convincing offense.
Hey, man, once Ultra able to stabilize in their spawn, take a little bit map presence away, the rest of Optic would just turtle up in towards Art. So they had that avenue of approach through the front side of B Street. CleanX starts it off by winning a couple of gunfights through this angle, but Joe Deceives finding that kill through the middle map, realizing, okay, they're definitely going to contest all of my teammates through B Street, especially if you got an AR in your hand. So let me just catch the timing to flank through mid Lion. And him just getting that 1 kill, turning into 2 dead, taking Art control away. Didn't give Optic any opportunities to try to retake over towards that B point. Ultra, all 6 segments complete in round 1.
Yeah, Ultra's just shooting right now. I mean, Joe gets 10 in the first round of control, and there were still a handful of lives that were left for Optic. There's number 11, 4 in a row for Joe Deceives.
It's a great
and there's just not absolutely no individual gunfights go through again. I mean, Ultra's just gunning Optic. That's, I mean, maybe end analysis right there.
I just don't understand what the play call is right there again off the break off. We got 2 players going middle, 2 players going B Street. You get a clean 4 dead if you are Ultra, and now you have Insight, even with the pistol, still contesting over towards gold. Not a single segment earned on the side of Optic Texas. They are working their way through Top Cat. A lot of mid-map control. They just need a couple kills to go with it, and they find 3.
Yeah, that'll work. Insight, really no chance to challenge from at least this position. Just going to hold on to top gold. Shotzzy, the one making sure he doesn't rotate out, or at least try to get the information on him. As here come Ultra trying to re-break from the front. 2 ticks of progress in. Shotzzy shuts down the pitch, and now all of a sudden Ultra just may have to give up on this play. Joe does find 2, but CleanX seen down low. Just nowhere to go as Shotzzy finishes the kill, and an extra 60 seconds comes through with the chance to transition to B.
Yep, yeah. Map control to go with it. Shotzzy already opens up with the kill. Can he get over towards this Art position to force them to focus him? And when he does, a teammate over the top, baby. You gotta love it. The communication on the side of Optic Texas is definitely clicking. Clean 4 dead for Ultra. They stabilize on the map.
Yeah, you do get Pred to still play through vault stairs, but he is the furthest Optic member forward. Ultra putting the pressure on around the middle and through pool. Plenty of time for Optic to work with here, but this next break off needs to be clean. Pred finding the space to get on the zone, put some pressure on the clock, but Joe Deceive still finds elimination. That's 3 dead. Shotzzy, a bit of an island here. Saw Joe towards vault stairs, but instead tries to play over towards the top side of Art. He's been seen, and Joe finds the kill. It's all 4 dead.
Now you're down by 5 lives with a minute left to work with. You need to start winning some gunfights. Prez opens up with the double. So now you can approach through that front angle. CleanX trying to work the pinch. He at least finds one on the Kenny. Don't tell me on the minimap he's about to turn on to Shotzzy. But Prez goes back to at least help his teammate out.
Yep.
45 seconds still to work with. You're on the point.
You have 2 players on, actually, so that's going to allow at least his first tick to likely come through. Joe shuts down Kenny from rotating over, but still, the players on the point looking good until they don't. CleanX lines up both, finds both kills, and that will reduce this now to an 11v6. Shotzzy outside of Palms, nowhere to go there. Another individual play that gets completely shut down, and Ultra now have the zone completely in their hands.
And this is the last push. 30 seconds to go. You don't really have a position to play trades if you are Optic. CleanX strikes for the first. Inside flies on in. Bean finds a 3rd. Last player alive is Kenny. Yeah, so many players from Ultra all surrounding him. And that is going to be Ultra giving up 4 segments, but up 2-0 on the map.
Wow, Jay.
I'm telling you, Alan.
How does this happen? I mean, I remember having the exact same reaction last year into Major 4, where it's just like, what do you mean? Like, this team is... They set the tone for the entirety of Major 1 qualifiers. And now it's just... It feels like they're just kind of running and gunning and trying to play individual gunfights. I mean, so many different 1v2s that come through where you're just in the worst spots possible.
Telling you, bro. It's hero ball. Like, that's exactly what it is, man. You always feeling like if you're the player farthest pushed on out, I potentially catch a timing. I could put myself in a position to try to win this round single-handedly for my team, but They just keep on getting sniffed out. Ultra not allowing Shotzzy to do Shotzzy things. You can even see when he allowed those players to walk by him at the B point to sneak his way in towards Art. They're still communicating on the side of Ultra. Where's Shotzzy? Oh, okay, we spot him. Let's make sure we get that kill. And already off the break again. They find a clean 4 dead. Optic, what are we doing?
I don't know, bro. 5 and 15 from Kenny. It just continues to be the butt end of a lot of the hatred that's come through about what's going wrong with this Optic squad right now. First tick at B is done. Second on the way. At least Shotzi's cleared off the A zone, but Gaze is on 8 in a row, and he almost gets a chance at the 1v1 with Kenny. Second tick. Really not a lot of progress been done to it here, so even though it's been a messy break off, Optic have at least kept this clock ticking for now.
Yeah, but Ultra just trying to do the hard thing first and take care of this B point. At least put a lot of focus on that side of the map, so Optic instantly off the rotation, off the respawn, had to rotate their way back over towards B Street to contest. But first segment at A guaranteed. The entire kill feed is currently lighting up white. And I know for all the Greenwall fans that are thinking, dude, Kenny's had 7 and 17. His stat line has absolutely nothing to do with the way that they are playing as a team. I'm sick of him getting isolated of he's like the guy that you have to put all the blame on. No, the way that they are playing as a collective unit is abysmal.
Yeah. I mean, there is a level of everyone individually is also just getting smoked. Like, there is something where the numbers don't lie, but I mean, this is straight. This is a BTA series, and if you don't know what that stands for,
you know what that is.
Yeah. Well, 19 plays, 12. Minute 35 of the clock. Optic with a couple of nice eliminations through mid. We'll give him a chance here to at least control most of this B street.
Yeah, but you got to get out of your swamp. You need a couple kills to go your way. Thankfully, Shotzi's able to catch a double. Shotzi lines up with triple, and that leads to a clean 4 dead. Now you just need to stabilize on the map. Play your corners. Make them run into you. Make it more difficult for Ultra to exit.
Well, Pred tries to take away space. That's shut down. Shotzi now going to be red as he was pushing forward with Pred at the same time. Isolation is good. That's now 3 dead. Out of spawn come Ultra, and more importantly, they've got some ground to work with Kleenex holding towards square, just making sure these players top Art, feel the pressure. Even worse when Dashy gets gunned like that, but Ultra not able to provide at least support onto the zone as of yet. 13 playing 6.
Yeah, 6v13. You can put the game clock at a pause with someone just instantly hopping it. You're more focused on trying to turn this into TDM if you are Ultra. Just need to put someone on the game, on the B point. So the game clock is paused, but Optic so tight around their setup at Art. No more respawns now with Kenny dropping.
Yep. And the second tick is already being worked on inside off the regen. Dashy dealt with by Beans on the outer side of Palms, and that will do it. I don't know, Jay. It's flat out. It's flat out embarrassing. And how do they go from being a team that's sitting there saying we feel so confident in our gameplay, we're gonna stream all of our scrims and still wipe the floor with teams, and then they show up in Spain, get essentially whooped, and since then it's a single win versus LAG in the minor, or at the major rather, and that was I will say a trial. Yep. And then 3 map wins versus Vegas. That's all there's been. And there's not another team in the league right now that has only 3 map wins this stage.
This is insane, man. They don't have a single map win this stage. Like throughout the qualifiers. Like a team.
True, through the qualifiers,
world champion roster last season. Like they haven't been able to put it together since Pred joined back into the lineup. But it's just like watching them play this game the way that they do. We probably won't see them win another map for quite some time. I know that their major is coming up right next door in about a week or 2. They're most likely going to be starting to lose the bracket without question with this loss to Ultra. But I don't really know where to even start for this Optic Texas team. Like hard points, they're a struggle.